We have been listening to President Biden's marathon news conference as he marks the end of his first year in office, addressing some of the major issues facing his administration right now. President Biden making a lot of news in that conference, saying he would support splitting up the Build Back Better social spending bill to pass components of it. He predicted that Russia will invade Ukraine and even suggested that a minor incursion by Putin would elicit a lesser response than a full-scale invasion of the country. I'm not sure that his staff is exactly excited about all the news he made.
No, there's a lot to clean up. Come back to that in a second, especially the Russia-Ukraine stuff on the global stage. To the idea that at the one-year mark, when you're struggling, when almost every political metric says you are struggling, does he walk out of there thinking he's in better standing? It'd be fascinating to see how it's interpreted around the country. The White House wanted him talking less about Washington and more about America. He spent a lot of time talking about Washington. His Secretary of State sits down with the Russian foreign minister tomorrow. The President of the United States essentially said, if Russia takes a bite of the cookie in Ukraine, NATO will probably be divided. We'll have a hard time with what to do. He tried to clean it up later in the press conference, but not with clarity. And I think that answer on Russia is going to cause the administration grief for at least a few days.
Yeah, and Dan, I mean, he was speaking there almost like a pundit, almost like an analyst. When he was chairman of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee 20 years ago, that was the kind of answer he could give. But now he's the man in charge of deterring Putin from invading.
We're already seeing the cleanup. I'm already seeing in my text exchanges with people around the president, cleanup on aisle State Department going on right now. One text I got was, well, what he was probably referring to was if the incursion was non-military, if it was cyber, then there would be a different response than an actual traditional military incursion. It doesn't matter because it is going to have to be cleaned up. It is probably being cleaned up in diplomatic channels as we speak to the region, especially Ukraine, and it is going to probably be done publicly soon as well. But what you said about Joe Biden, the Foreign Relations Chair, Joe Biden, the senator, who would just sit and talk, and you know this better than all of us, and just pontificate and ruminate about what's going on in the world, that is, at that point, the man that we saw. But when a region and one of the country's biggest foes is potentially on the brink of war, and it is his job as commander-in-chief to stop that, that wasn't the answer.